Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. So today we're going to drive from John O'Groats, where I am just now, to Land's End at the opposite end of the UK on a single tank of fuel in the 730 diesel. So it's a bit windy and it's a bit wet, hence why I'm standing behind this wall here. But as you can see, just behind me here is the signpost, and of course the car is in the car park. So let's take a walk up to the car, let's jump in and let's discuss what we're doing. So we're going to jump in the car. We're going to top up the fuel first, actually, just with a jerry can. Make sure the fuel in the car is as high as it will go to make this a fair run. And then we're going to head in the car and I'll show you the route that we're taking according with the inbuilt sat-nav. We're not going to use Waze for this, it's going to be the BMW inbuilt sat-nav within the car. So let's top up the fuel and then take it from there. Okay, so that's just topped up the fuel. Let's jump in and show you what we're doing. So inside the car we have topped up the fuel. Let's just get that out of the way there. Let's get the car started and let's show you what our perceived range is according to the car. Now, let's just reset all the MPGs. That's resetted. Average speed. Reset. Okay, so there we go. So, as you can see now, we've reset all the computer here, and it's saying we've got 673 miles of range left on the car. So let's just plot our route from our current location. It's Land's End. No. What will it come up under? Let me just check the phone for Google and get the postcode, and we'll be right back. Okay, so we've popped the postcode in for the Land's End. Now we're going to the bottom one there, which should take us just down here to the coast. So let's just do that and then accept the destination. Oh, did I move the... I did. Oh, destination input. Accept destination. Start guidance. Okay. So it's calculating the route for us just now. Okay, it should saying that it's 835 miles. We'll get there at 8:41 in the morning. And of course that's just our signal strength in the current time, so it's currently 12 minutes past 5 in the evening. That's how long it took me to get up to John O'Groats. So let's get the camera mounted up in the car and let's do this journey together. Stop off a couple of times for some breaks. However, I will not be putting any more fuel in the car on the way down. So let's get to it. So here we go. Let's be on our merry way, as they say. So leaving John O'Groats, believe it or not, this is the first time that I've actually been at the very northern point of Scotland, if you can call it that. It's probably not, because you still have to go to the islands as well. However, of the mainland, this is the most northerly point as far as I can imagine. It is a bit of a challenge for this drive. This car is rated at 749 miles of range. Now, we are going to be taking this extremely easy, and we are going to be taking our time down the road. The idea is to get maximum fuel economy to see what this car is actually capable of doing. We are showing a full tank of fuel. The range is now saying 675 miles until empty. And I sincerely hope we can do better than that, because it will fall short of the 849 miles that we need or actually 835 miles in accordance to the built-in navigation here. So in order to maintain this, we're going to have to be able to get better than 53 miles to the gallon. This is a 3 litre straight 6 diesel engine that is in this. This is a 6-cylinder turbo diesel. It's 245 brake horsepower, and it's a good, sensible, all-round family car. And it does have a very large fuel tank, which does weigh in our favour with this drive. So it's 81 litres of fuel that this car can hold within the tank. So really curious to see if this will actually do this. A lot of people have said there's no chance that this isn't going to work. So fingers crossed, touch some hairy wood, and let's see what happens. So I'll let you enjoy the drive. At the moment, I would have got the drone up under normal circumstances, however it's currently raining and we can't fly in these conditions. So we're en route to arrive at 9:15 in the morning at Land's End. Now it might be after that because we do have to stop over and I will have to take a few hours rest. I think driving for over 15 hours straight is reckless, so I certainly shan't be doing that. But I certainly will not be filling the tank up on the way. So let's see what happens. We're taking our time at 40 miles an hour along the country roads to get out of John O'Groats and back towards I would single carriageway and then onto a dual carriageway at some point, and then finally we'll go to Inverness, and then it's mostly single and dual carriageway again, with a lot of average speed zones as well. So I'm hoping that obviously doing this drive at night, it really does, work in our favour, because we don't have the traffic element to deal with. So I'm hoping that we kind of miss all the traffic because we are leaving now at 5. So if anything, we might get caught up in a bit of traffic around Inverness. But by the time we get to Glasgow, which would probably be around 9 o'clock at night, possibly 10 o'clock at night, there shouldn't really be anything traffic-wise to get in our way. So without further ado, let's stop for a second, turn the camera around, and let you enjoy the view for the first leg out of Scotland. So that's us arrived in Perth. Like I did say, the car is stating that we have 687 miles of range left, and we get 610 miles to go. And on the fuel indicator gauge here, you can see there we are literally just above just shy of a quarter tank of fuel that's been used. So let's turn the car off, let's take a little break. Gonna go and buy some sweeties as you do, and some juice, and use the facilities, and then we'll get back on the road. So that's the tyre pressures checked. The ones in the back, as suspected, were down to 20 psi, and they should be 36 in the rear and 33 on the front of this car. So that's us. Let's get this started. Let's get back on the road. We've got more miles to cover. Let's go. So this has now joined the M80, or the top end of the M80 really. I think it's now called the M90. Or am I thinking about a completely different road? However, it is average speed cameras all the way now down to as we approach Glasgow, and of course it is a 60 limit. Now that works well for us because, well, you know, we are on a mission for miles and not smiles. Yeah, that really is rubbish. So with that in mind, let's carry on down the road. The sat nav is telling us we're going to get there now for 8 AM in the morning at Land's End. Obviously we will stop off a few times on the way down. I don't intend to do it all on a oneer, but I do intend to do it on one tank of fuel. There will be no cheating. So we filled the tank with the canister before we left John O'Groats, and it did say that it was 800 and so many miles until we got to Land's End, and the miles for the tank, for the range, was about 630. Now, as we've driven, obviously, and as our MPGs are going up, we're now at 48.4. As these start to climb, and as our speed is stable, and obviously now we're past the really hilly area of Scotland, hopefully all the more modern dual carriageway, and then later once we get to the M74 motorway, will really help with the fuel economy figure. And let's see if we can get there in this one tank of fuel. So we have 677 miles of range left. It's still not even a quarter tank of fuel that we've used. However, I always find that the last quarter tank, i.e. the first quarter tank you ever use once it's at full, seems to last the longest, because it takes longer to actually go down, plus you do get more miles. So I don't think that will replicate from 3/4 of the tank to half a tank and then down to the quarter tank. I think we'll find that once we get to half a tank, it will fall faster. But that said, we've done 220-ish miles, 25 or 20. It says 222.8. However, I was late resetting that, so let's add a couple extra onto it. So you're probably about 225 or so miles since we've left John O'Groats. This car is high mileage. It's done, well, for a UK spec car, it's relatively high mileage. It's 159,000 miles that this car has on the clock, and we're going to add 800 more on this trip. So 603 miles to go. Next stop is the M8 and then on to the M74. So we'll be on the outskirts of Glasgow, and then from there we'll be driving past Hamilton and Motherwell as we head south on the M74/M6. So, catch you up then. Stirling Castle. All its monuments just out the window here to my right. You can't really make that out, unfortunately. I can't turn the camera all the way around. But
Hi, welcome to Starbucks drive-thru. What can I get for you?
can I have a venti latte, please?
Venti latte, yep. Anything else, please?
Can I have an extra shot in that, please?
Extra shot, of course you can, yep. Anything else?
That's us.
No worries at all, just head round to the window.
Thank you.
Okay, you have a
Perfect.
lovely night now.
Thank you.
See you later.
Take care. Okay, so coffee is a go. Let's head back out and join the open road. Car park here. Okay, so let's head back out in the road. Try our best not to accelerate harshly as we head back out onto the M74. And of course the M74 leads onto the M6 southbound into the rest of the UK. So let's into England from Scotland. Ironically, I only live up the road from here. I could quite happily head home, go to my bed, get up in the morning, and then continue on in the morning. But the goal is to do this all in one trip without having to think, because no doubt I'll get up tomorrow and I won't want to finish it. So, off we go. We have lost a point or two, roughly, on our fuel economy. So that's us now southbound on the M74, rejoined the M74. We're now doing 63 miles an hour, and we'll get that live fuel gauge, your live fuel economy gauge is on the right hand side of the dash there. We want to keep that really between 50 and 60 mpgs. So we still want to be applying power just kind of very lightly and keep it within that little bracket of window. And the whole idea of that is we're giving it some power to keep the car going, but we're getting a consistent high level of mpgs as we continue our drive tonight. There we go. Welcome to England. And just like that, people, we are now in England. I'm managing the fuel economy at the moment by just watching the live feedback from the live fuel economy gauge. We're getting 49.1 miles to the gallon at the moment. Okay, so with that in mind, I will update you when we get to Clio. Ciao. So there we have it. That is us at our rest stop. Let's just turn the ignition on so we can see where we are here. So if we pull up the nav for a second, and let's just reposition the map view here north, and then let's zoom all the way out to kind of get the idea to where we are. So far, back in a bit. So we left this afternoon, we left about dinner time, from a way up the very top, and we're about halfway down. So we're going to take a rest break here. This is the distance we've still got to cover, so 396 miles left. We've got a range of 414 miles, and according to the car's onboard computer, we've covered 438.7. Now, I was late in setting this, so it's actually probably slightly more than that. It's probably more like 441 or thereabouts. Fuel wise, we have dead on half tank of fuel left, and that's where we are at the moment. So I'm going to stretch my legs outside, I'm going to rest up and watch some DVD. Once we've done that, we'll be back on the way in a few hours, hopefully. So catch you when we get back on the road. Good morning. Totally refreshed. So on our way from where we are at the moment, it's 398 miles until we get to our destination. 414 miles of range left, and yeah, we have just above the half tank of fuel remaining. So let's leave these services and get back on the road. So it's currently 20 past 6 in the morning. We do have to bypass Birmingham and Manchester, and I was hoping last night actually to get past those, but due to the fact that it was getting on, it was really late, it was 2 AM, and of course absolutely knackered. I had to stop, I couldn't continue driving. So onwards, we're 26 miles, just reading that signpost there, from Blackpool. So let's continue on and see how far we get. So we've stopped off at the services just north of Manchester. I'm not entirely sure if this was a great idea. I did require a quick coffee, so I'm now going to make my way back onto the motorway. I do like the auto lock feature on this car. The only thing I find really confusing though is when you go to unlock the door, obviously it's a double pull to do that, but when you double pull, also only unlocks the one door, and I found myself getting out of the car and trying to go into the boot and realising that the boot is actually still locked, or one of the other doors for that matter. So let's join the motorway and let's get up to speed. A little burst of speed, some power. There we go. 60 miles an hour. Of course, we're not using cruise control for this journey. We're just really kind of holding the power band. And when I say power band, what I really mean is I'm looking at the live fuel consumption gauge down here on the dash, and my goal is to keep that red line in between the 50 and 60 mark for the fuel consumption. For the live fuel consumption, not the average. So the average at the moment is 49.5 miles to the gallon. We have 316 miles left until we get to our destination, and of course our range is 368 miles left in the tank. It is now below half a tank of fuel. It's currently 10 to 8 in the morning, and there's every bit we are going to be held up in some traffic, which is going to seriously impact our fuel economy. Now of course this car does not have the start-stop functionality I do not believe that came on the cars before 2011, 2012. However, you know, if we're going to be sitting still for any length of time, I will look to turn the car off, just to conserve fuel and to obviously ensure our average fuel consumption isn't impacted. Okay, so we're back into an average speed limit again. It's now 50 miles an hour, and of course it's due to the roadworks. So the first cameras are yet to arrive, and of course everyone tends to ignore it until then. We are slowing down, so down to 50 miles an hour, 52. There we go. So that's us reached the M6 toll. We're just going to pay for the toll and be on our way. And off we go. Put the window up and let's carry on. So we currently have 293 miles to go until we get to Land's End. I do want to speed up a little bit here. Go up to cruising speed. Obviously this acceleration isn't helping our fuel economy. We're down to 49.9. We do have plenty of range, 360 mile range left. Again, we're still between quarter tank and half tank, so let's carry on and let you guys enjoy the view. So we didn't quite make it to Land's End, unfortunately. I bottled it out at 6 miles until empty, and I have put the jerry can of diesel in the car, which was 71 miles now until empty. So let's step in, have a look at the trip computer and see the kind of distance we've actually covered on this trip from John O'Groats to Land's End, or well, not quite Land's End, but let's show you on the map. Okay, so let's turn on the ignition and get her started. So as I said, I have put some fuel in it, so it's back in fuel reserve. I'm going to pop into the petrol station in a second and fill her up. So as you can see here on the route guidance map, this is where we are and this is Land's End. So we're not quite there. 19 miles to cover, and it was 5 miles till empty. There was no way it was going to make up and down those hills. The traffic is quite bad. So we've done 860 miles since we left John O'Groats coming to Land's End. Although we didn't quite make it there, we have only reached to here on the map instead of all the way down. We have 19 miles left to go, but we only had 5 miles of range left in the car, and I bottled it. I pulled into this hotel and I put the jerry can in the back. So we're going to drive to the closest petrol station, we're going to fill it up, continue the rest of the drive, and then that'll be us. So let's continue on get to Land's End, check the box, you know, great attempt but no cigar, as they say, so onwards and upwards. So the challenge to get to Land's End on one tank of fuel may be at an end for us. However, we are going to proceed to Land's End because we came so close, and we'd be stupid not to do it while we're here. So let's grab the quick bite from the good old McDonald's. Let's head back on the motorway. Get the nav map up. There we go. And let's get back on the road. Now, I literally came from the petrol station to here. So we have covered 860 odd miles to where we are, which is actually phenomenal considering the age of this car, and I actually do not know when the last time it was serviced. And off we go. Right. So now we're in the car. Obviously we've got the aircon, we've got a full tank of diesel, the aircon is back on, we can relax a little bit and the stress is gone. We are only 9 miles away from Penzance and ultimately not far from our destination. If we bring up the split screen stats, we are 18 miles away from our destination. I do believe if I had to do this again, I would do it in a single tank. However, I do not plan to do it again in close succession, not unless I have a different car to do it in and a different reason to see if we can do it in a tank. So what was the inspiration about me doing this run? Well, another YouTuber that I found on YouTube, because that's where you normally find YouTubers, done a run where he went from Fort William in Scotland to the Shard in London. Now he did that run in the 6-litre V12, and that was quite phenomenal. It was 500 odd miles total run for him to do that. That journey would have been easily achievable in this car. So I wanted to really challenge what we can do, or what we were capable of doing in this. And I think the John O'Groats to Land's End run, especially in this car, being the 3-litre straight 6 diesel and 12 years old, I think it's one heck of a run, and I think it's definitely done us proud to where we've managed to get with it. So maybe next time. So that's us. We went from John O'Groats to Land's End here at the bottom of Cornwall, and of course we've covered 888 miles in that time, taking little shy of 16 hours travel time in the 7 Series. So that's the end of the vlog. So thank you very much for watching. If you do like my content, please do remember to like and subscribe. Until the next one, take care. Cheers.